notion of attributes, like how good you are at something. How do you think, what's good, better, best mean, in that context? How do you think a good skills literacy thinks about, those attributes, behavioral attributes or other attributes?
It's a really interesting question, because if you think about good, better, best, there's a number of different ways you can answer it. So obviously, if you say you're skilled at communication, then you can understand what a really, really good communicator can do, or what as opposed to what a good communicator can do. So I think there is gradations within it. I think someone who is, say, only a couple of years into their role, then are they good? Are they good for their role, as opposed to are they the best communicator? So I think if you're starting to talk about good, better, or best, you also have to bring in the concept of levels.
Some of the behavior and proficiency, it's about their personal motivation, their personal experience, their contribution, all sorts of other elements you could describe as elements of proficiency, which are not necessarily simple attributes to a skill. They could just be about the human. One of our goals is to come back to some lowest common denominator that we can work with, so that people can get better at least understanding what a skill is and what they do. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, look, I think so. I've been watching with interest as people have been starting to use AI to write job ads.
Yeah,
I've actually seen a lot of tools that help to take sort of like descriptions of tasks or a position description and then put them into skills. Whereas what I've seen with a lot of the job ads using AI, it's just sort of reinforcing some of the things that we've done in the past. It's using sentences like, "Oh, we need you to be a great communicator," but it doesn't then go down to the next step. You're going to need to communicate ideas to all levels of stakeholders, or we want you to be able to effectively communicate to large groups of people.
Do you think we want to have a common skills taxonomy, or do you think we want to get better at mapping? What are your thoughts?
Given that there's probably been many, many years where people have been trying to have a common skills taxonomy and haven't, I'm actually going to say is that I just don't think that's I just don't think it's a realistic goal, because people are going to interpret things differently.
Skills taxonomy needs to be a framework itself. Something that standardizes on RSDs or open badges standard or some other standard approach. If they were talking about frameworks rather than a list, I think we'd be getting somewhere.
I think so, because I look at all the taxonomies that already exist, and you sort of think, what's the point of writing yet another one?
Yeah.
To just put your own differentiation on it. We're not going to solve the skills gap unless we actually get better at recognizing skills, and many of those skills are not from formal education. So we need something different, and we need RPL that the end goal is to give the person evidence, not necessarily to put them into a formal qualification.